and you're watching Absolute Basketball.
What is going on, everybody? Jamie Shaw here again. I'm here with new Boston College head coach Earl Grant. Earl, how's it going today?
Going great. Good to see you, Jamie, and just really excited to spend a few minutes with you.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So you had great success as the head coach at College of Charleston, producing multiple pros, 127 total wins, kind of bringing that program back to being a mid-major power across the country. I know it's your home city and all that. How do you think your legacy is going to be remembered in Charleston?
You know, I really don't know how my legacy will be remembered. I hope it's remembered in a way that we had young men in our program that represented the school, represented the city. We didn't have any issues off the court. We had guys that really, if you're an alum of College of Charleston, or if you're a former player or somebody that really loved that program, you could be proud of the product that we put on the floor, not just as a basketball player, but the character of the person. We got one guy that's delivering babies now. He's a doctor, and we got a guy that's a lawyer. We got a deputy sheriff. We got a guy who owns his own studio as a photographer and graphic design, doing really well in Charleston. I was just on the phone with Joe Chile, and he reminded me of just how fortunate I was, or how fortunate we were. I'm heading out to Vegas for some professional development here this weekend, and he said, "Hey, Coach, if you get a chance, make sure you get with Cam Johnson, who's an assistant coach with the San Antonio Spurs, Jarrell Brantley with the Utah Jazz as a player, and Grant Riller with the Charlotte Hornets." He said, "Coach, get a group picture and send it to me." And what he made me realize, that's 4 of my starters. So the character of those kids and the talent of those kids. So I hope we remember to just, having young guys of high character that got their degrees, that, fought every day to make that program to be a special place.
You've coached under the likes of Greg Marshall, Brad Brownell, incredibly successful guys. What have you taken from each of them, and how would you describe your own personal coaching style?
Yeah, I mean, from Greg Marshall, certainly, he's the first guy that really gave me an opportunity. A guy that I met on the park in the inner city at 16 years old in a midnight basketball league, and he and his wife were out there. And maybe was the only white person out there on the park at that time, but he was there. He was there to evaluate. He was there to give, me and some of the other talented guys that were on that park a chance. So I respected him for that. And, and then he gave me an opportunity. I was an assistant at the Citadel, and he gave me a great opportunity to come to Winthrop. And, that opportunity led to 3 NCAA tournaments, and we took off and went to Wichita State. So he really taught me a lot. He really believed in me and gave me a chance to get into the profession and learn what winning looks like. He also recruited me when I was at Spartanburg Methodist coming out in 1998. He was leaving Marshall to become the head coach at Winthrop, and he tried to get me to come to Winthrop. I think they ended up taking somebody else. I made a commitment to another school, but we just stayed in touch. So Greg was unbelievable as it pertains to get me in the profession. And then Brad Brownell, certainly hired me at Clemson when he didn't know me. And I learned a little thing that it's important how you treat people. It's important your work ethic and what people, what they perceive you to be. Because I remember Dave Tellett was the last person that Brad Brownell called, being a North Carolina guy. He called Dave and said, "Hey, look, is there any reason not to hire Earl?" So obviously Dave gave me a pretty decent report, and had a great experience at Clemson coaching in the ACC. But I feel like it's important to mention Pat Dennis was the first guy that gave me the opportunity at the Citadel back in 2002. And he just put me on the road as a full-time recruiter, and I really didn't have any experience. And so he's the guy that, got me in and taught me how to work, that no job was too little, to kind of give me a good level of humility as a startup as a Division I assistant back in 2002.
So you grew up in Charleston, South Carolina, as we mentioned before. You played your college ball in Georgia. Coaching career, Winthrop, Citadel, Clemson, Charleston, and 3 years at Wichita State. Outside of those 3 years at Wichita State, you've primarily been in the Southeast. So kind of what was it about this Boston College opportunity that drew you out of your familiar geographic region to take on the opportunity?
Yeah, it was a perfect fit for me as it pertains to what's important to me and my family. It's a school where you can continue to grow in your faith. It's a private school. It's a Jesuit school, so you can grow in your faith here. You can attract guys that want to grow as people and become a better person. You can attract high-level student athletes because we had a big-time academic situation. And you also can attract, the elite players in the country because you are in the ACC. And, you can choose a school like Boston College, and come play in this league, and you got a great opportunity to fulfill any dream you got. You can come here and anything's possible. You can be an NBA guy. You can be, work on Wall Street. You can, get a big time business degree. We had one of the best business schools in the country. So there's a lot of different, angles you can take, here. And I tell kids all the time, why not come to a place like this where, when you finish your playing career, you should have choices. You should be choosing between being a professional basketball player or, because of the internships and the network that you develop over 4 years, you're having a hard time to decide, do I go be a professional basketball player or do I take this lucrative job opportunity? Mm-hmm. You can do both and you want to have options. So for me, I thought all of that was possible here. I thought my family, my sons, my wife, they were willing to move to one of the best cities in the world, where there's great opportunity here, for them intellectually, athletically. And again, it's a pro city. It's a big time city. And we've been fortunate. We lived in Charleston for 7 years and now we're in Boston. And so you got two of the best cities in the world. So there was a lot of reason for it, but I also was ready for a new challenge, a new opportunity. This program is a big-time winning program, and there's a lot of rich history here. Elite Eight, Sweet 16s, NCAA tournaments, where they've had great success. We got NBA guys, that's doing really well right now. So for me, it was just perfect for me at the time, and I wasn't looking to leave, but I think the president here, Father Leahy, who's been there for 25 years, and Pat Kraft, the athletic director. Their approach and the conversations we had made it obvious that it was a perfect fit for me and my family.
And you're watching Absolute Basketball.